The San Antonio Spurs were scheduled to play the OKC Thunder tonight. The game is still going to happen, but OKC has just announced that pretty much all of their key guys will not play in this game tonight. I'm just going to read down the list. Alex Caruso is sitting out. Lou Dort is sitting out. SGA is sitting out. Isaiah Hartenstein is sitting out. Chet Holmgren is sitting out. AJ Mitchell is sitting out. I have to say, this is pathetic because I think basketball fans, not just Spurs fans, were looking forward to this. I think even casual basketball fans love watching this matchup, considering the Spurs are an upstart young team looking to challenge OKC for the West this year. Granted, they don't have hardly any experience like OKC does, and they have beaten OKC 3 out of 4 times so far this year in convincing fashion. Granted, OKC beat them the last game, but still, it's a matchup people get excited for because OKC tends to struggle with Victor Wembanyama when it comes to how he shuts down their team defensively. So it's interesting to see how this matchup plays out. And I have to say that I'm just very disappointed that OKC is not going to play their full team against the Spurs. I know some people will argue, well, OKC played last night, and it's not fair. They had to play the Spurs today since the Spurs are a team that gets up for them. But even if you're going to use the excuse of back-to-backs being unfair, I looked at the score of the game they played last night, and they won it in convincing fashion, 128-92 against the Magic. It doesn't seem to me that they even broke a sweat in that game. All their key guys, except for Lou Dort, played less than 30 minutes. So rest should not be really a factor when it comes to playing the Spurs on a back-to-back game. Plus, the flight from OKC to San Antonio is probably just like an hour or two, so it's not really much. I just don't buy into this rest factor bullshit. I think OKC did not want to risk losing again to the Spurs. I think that's really what it is. I think their confidence against the Spurs is very fragile. So they didn't want to risk losing another game. Granted, I think Jalen Williams has been out for a few weeks now, but still, they don't want the Spurs to gain a mental edge over them until they had to face them again in the playoffs. That's what I think it really was. But to me, it just shows to me that OKC is very fragile in the sense that they should be up for this matchup. They should be up for this game instead of not playing their full team. To me, it's stupid. It's anti-competitive. And it shows, again, why this era is so soft. Because I remember back in the day during the early 2000s, whenever the Spurs and Lakers played each other in a regular season, they always got up for the matchup. They always had their full team ready to play. It didn't matter if it was a back-to-back or not. It was all about trying to gain a mental edge during the regular season against against either team in hopes that it would give you some advantage playing them in the playoffs. It was all about getting a different type of look at your rival and, vice versa, and trying to see if you can make adjustments to counter later on. It was like throughout the season like that whenever the Spurs and Lakers played. And you could say that with other rivals of the Spurs during the 2000s, Spurs Mavericks, Spurs Suns. That's what it was really about. So I just say it's really disappointing that we're not going to see a great matchup tonight in the sense that we're not going to see two contenders go at it at full strength. And I feel the fans are cheated out of this, and it really sucks, but it's a reason why I'm not really a fan of this era, because teams don't really have a competitive spirit like they did back in the day. So I had to say, OKC, you guys are a bunch of gutless worms and cowards, and maybe this will pay off for you in the long run, but we'll see. We'll see. If you guys lose in the playoffs to Spurs, well, you deserve it. That's all I'm going to say.